Driving around military posts, you can't help but notice sharp banners and signs that say, "Not in my army." But does anybody ever stop to wonder if this program is effective? The SHARP program provides a unity effort for sexual harassment and sexual assault prevention efforts across the Army. 2,600 cases of unwanted sexual contact has been reported in the military. It rose 20% last year. In 2014, it has been reported that 62% of military service members who reported sexual assault said they experienced some sort of retaliation after making a claim either being social or professional. 50% of service members claim that nothing good comes out of reporting. If military leadership hasn't fixed the program by now, it will not be fixed unless there's a change in status quo. The military has shown time and time again their inability to provide justice for sexual assault survivors. I've heard cases of where service members and civilians were sexually assaulted by another active duty member, and punishments were a deciding factor of a perpetrator's chain of command due to not wanting bad morale for the company or battalion. They were handed near to nothing punishments. Service members are reporting less and less due to the fact becoming isolated by coworkers and the fear of retaliation. According to a report, 1/4 of victims do not report sexual misconduct because the perpetrator is a ranking officer. Victims are accused of lying about what happened to them and hurting the camaraderie of the unit. This type of victim blaming mindset leads to professional retaliation. There are 3 major flaws in the military SHARP programs. One of the causes is not being properly trained to handle a report. The soldiers that they recruit to become SHARP qualified have no experience in sexual misconduct cases or have not been properly taught for every possible scenario for these types of reports. I've seen qualified SHARP victim advocates not know who to contact properly or direct them to the appropriate person. I've also seen a SHARP representative make horrible claims that if you're wearing a short skirt, you were asking for it. Another cause is leaving punishment of a soldier up to the chain of command. In the military, sexual assaults are handled within the chain of command. That means a victim's commanding officer has the ability to intervene at any point, to attempt to stop an investigation, reduce a sentence, or even set aside a conviction. Chain of command in most cases will sweep the punishment under the rug to save the battalion from being looked at in a bad light. The third problem is the lack of accountability for sexual assault. Only 10% of people who are reported are never brought to trial, and the other 90% are accused of assault and never seeing a day in court. Even when a person is brought to trial and convicted of sexual assault, they rarely receive more than a slap on the wrist for a crime that would put civilians in bars for years. It is not uncommon for a service member who is convicted of an assault to face mild punishments like suspension, demotion, or a letter on their file. There are 3 major steps that we can take to solve this problem. First, we need to train our soldiers to be better prepared to report sex crimes against other service members and their spouses. This will give more room for people to be more comfortable to report and thoroughly know all their options when filing a report. Also, SHARP training needs to be updated the way a soldier handles filing reports, training them on what to know what the SHARP program exactly does. Chain of command should not be handed responsibility of dealing our punishments to soldiers. The military needs independent oversight of these punishments and cases. When a chain of command gives a slap on the wrist type of punishment, you are losing the trust of its service members. I believe that UCMJ needs to come a little bit more civilian when it comes to crimes committed by soldiers. They need to serve just as much time as someone who is not affiliated with the military, and also harsher punishments for sex crimes. Members reporting sexual misconduct is at an all-time low, and sex crimes are rising in the military. We can change the way we treat our military sex crimes by changing the status quo and speaking out about the way we look at the rape culture in the military. Programs like SHARP need to improve so we can ensure our soldiers home and overseas feel protected. Thank you.